Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog. Excited about what's coming for 2023. I feel like the year has passed so quickly, and that tends to happen, I've noticed, as you get older. But the purpose of this vlog was to share with you guys. Some of you guys that have been following the channel knows that I always post about cars, electric cars. And this post might not relate to most of my viewers, but some of you guys might be interested in this. So about a year ago in Texas, specifically in certain parts of Texas, I'm sure you guys heard it all over the news with ERCOT, having some issues and demand of energy being really high. We got snow in Texas. A lot of snow, which is extremely rare. And for you guys out in the Northeast, that's very common. You shoveled snow. That's not common here in Texas, guys. We don't do those things, right? And so the reason I want to post this is because after that storm, we were without power, I think 4 days, and basically lost everything in the refrigerator. Things were starting to go really bad. It got so cold, guys, that we would remove stuff out of the refrigerator because we were without power and put it in outside because it was colder and it would keep things at temperature. And so what we did as a family to try to, stay warm is we decided to move one of our couches into one of our offices. Sorry, not one, the office we have in our house. And it was the smallest room in the house, and it seemed to be the warmest room in the house. And so we all bundled up, me, my wife, my little boy, and my daughter, and we bundled up, and the night was really, really cold. And, we roughed it up, and it was good. What's funny about cold is when the power goes down, there's nothing, right? The internet's not working. Nothing is working, basically. And so, you almost go back to the caveman, if you want to call it, in regards to not having any type of tech and being distracted. And so you kind of get together as a family and think about ways to stay entertained, if you want to call it. But at the end of the day, this happened about a year and a half ago when that storm hit. Maybe it was a year ago, to be honest with you guys, or maybe it was it was last year. February, I think. And again, I think it was 4 days without power. There was people in the state that were without power a lot longer. So we're blessed that we were able to get power fairly quickly, if you want to call it. And, it was difficult. It was difficult. Everything was cold and everything was closed and there was not to do. So what's unique about that is I was shopping early for a backup generator for the house. I was going to do a whole home backup generator through Generac through natural gas, where it's connected to the house and it goes off automatically when the power shuts off. And as I was going and shopping through that, basically, the quotes were around $10,000 to $12,000 for something like that. As I looked them online, I started looking at the Powerwalls. And so if you're not familiar with Tesla and what the capabilities are, basically you can get a solar system from Tesla and it could provide, energy for your house. But what happens is at night, if you don't have Powerwalls to reserve energy, what will happen is you will still use the grid at night, right? Because the power needs to go somewhere, guys. And so, during the day, solar's great to provide it to your house. But what's cool about the solar Powerwalls, they're big batteries, guys, that are being charged by the solar system. And once the batteries are at 100% full, any of that surplus is sold back to the grid. It's called net metering in the industry. And any type of surplus you sell it back. And in some situations, it could be a 1-for-1. And what that basically means is if I'm paying 10 cents per kilowatt, there are some energy providers out there that will pay you similar or a little bit less than that. But the reason I wanted to say that is because we have all of that is we actually have another storm that's coming to South Texas or Houston. And it's actually going to be worse, I believe, than the previous one. The only difference I see with this storm that's coming down is it doesn't look like we're getting snow. But things can get really, it's going to get really cold. It's going to get below freezing. And, you can have sleet on the streets. So it's about staying off the streets because you can get, black ice and so on and so forth. But what I'm noticing that's different between the previous storm that, shut our powers for 4 days is that this one, it's not bringing any snow, but it's bringing colder temperatures. That's the first thing. We're getting into the teens. And then the second part to that is it's every night for about 4 to 5 nights straight. So it's even lasting longer, which means we're going below 32 degrees for about 5 nights straight, guys. And I know, again, for my Northeast folks or folks from other parts where it's extremely cold, some of you guys might be coming out with sweaters. But for us Texas folks, that's tough. And no snow, which is awesome, right? I mean, we would love it to snow because we don't really see it in Texas, but we don't want it to snow to the point where, we're going days without power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a couple of updates. Today is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I'm looking track of time. And tomorrow's Thursday. And the storm is supposed to hit this coming Friday at night. And the wind conditions are going to be quite aggressive. And it's going to drop pretty cold the first night. Again, about 17 degrees. And then followed by another like 15 degrees at night. And then every night after that is staying in the teens. So again, 4 straight nights of freezing temperature. And so what we need to see is how are these, Powerwalls are going to hold up, right? So the intent for me is when there's a winter watch, these Powerwalls will automatically fill up. And each one of them holds about, I want to say it's like 13.2 kilowatts. So, combined, you can go, several days without the need of power and your whole house will function. The good thing, if you want to call it anything, is our house right now is, because it's the winter, my house is cooling down with gas and not actual electricity, which is actually good. So the consumption will be a lot less, which means the Powerwalls will last a lot more. If it was, say, a hurricane and we were without power, these 2 Powerwalls with our AC on, it might last 12 hours, guys. There's strategies around that, around maybe increasing the temperature to reduce the demand, maybe just using 1 AC unit because I have 2 on my house. But there's different ways to manage and maximize the power reserves in these 2 Powerwalls. So we're going to test it. We're going to see if we even run without power. We might not lose power. I doubt it. I have a feeling we're going to lose power in the neighborhood, but my hope is that the things I've done and the investments I've done will ultimately work where we are not without power. And that means that everything is as usual. Our internet's up, our TVs will work, our heat will work, refrigerators on, everything that you would expect in a home to be functioning. These Powerwalls can do that. And so its biggest first test for sure is coming. And it's coming around the corner. And so we're going to be able to see it. I'll provide you guys an update if for some reason we do lose power. And somehow these things don't kick in. But I've tested it. There's ways to test it to make sure that it works. And everything is functioning well. So what's cool about having this type of infrastructure, it's literally like almost having your own power plant, guys, right? Of course, you need the sun to be able to build up the reserves. And so I'm powering my entire house off energy. And then on top of that, I have, a level 2 charger from Tesla here that, you know, as you guys know, when it gets really cold, a lot of people go get gas and the lines are long and it gets crazy at the gas stations. People get crazy in times like this. The stores get crazy. Well, it's awesome to know that if things work as they are planned to work, we shouldn't have to worry about power. We shouldn't worry about being cold. Our food's not going to go bad. It's going to be life as usual. And if I need to go anywhere, both of my cars are EVs that I can charge off of that. So I don't have to rely on fossil fuels from a gas station to fill up my cars. If I have an emergency or if I have to go anywhere, there is no dependency on black gold. And so there's a lot of advantages to setting this stuff up. And it is expensive, guys. And I did get a nice federal tax trade off of it. And I was one of the lucky ones that was able to get that 0.99 or basically 1% interest finance on this thing for 10 years. And it was a very short window and I was able to jump on it. But at the end of the day, I just want to post this. You know, the storm is coming. It's not only in Texas, but it's pretty much covering, I think they're saying 95% of the US. So stay warm out there. For all my followers, you know, stay warm, keep your head up, be safe, and I'll keep you guys posted. Again, if you're interested in knowing more about the Powerwalls and how it's working here, specifically in Texas, and more about like the costs associated, how much am I getting back from the utility and credits, what was my average bill before an energy, what's my monthly payment, things of that nature. If you're more interested in stuff like that, let me know, comment down below and hit the thumbs up. And if I get enough of that, enough interest, I'll post more around the Powerwalls and what they've done for me. That's it, guys. I want to go do a quick post on it, just show you guys, because I've never talked about them. I'm sure you guys see them always on the blog, and I've never made a mention in regards to doing an actual blog on them. And this is the first time I'm doing them, just because I know there's a major storm coming. And I think it's good just to let people know how this functions, how this works, in case some of you guys are interested in going out there and making an investment in Tesla Powerwalls. All right, guys, appreciate it. Peace.